Electric power is everywhere present in unlimited quantities and can drive the world's machinery without the need of coal, oil, gas, or any other fuel. This new power for the driving of the world's machinery will be derived from the energy which operates the universe, the cosmic energy, the cosmic energy, the cosmic energy, the cosmic energy, the cosmic energy.
In today's video, I'm going to be looking at an alleged interview where Nikola Tesla stated that quote-unquote everything is a delight. This interview surfaced a few years ago with a mostly unknown origin, which claimed this was a quote-unquote hidden or banned interview of Nikola Tesla. Despite of this, many believe it is fake. In this video, I'm going to be looking at this interview, analyzing the core of the philosophy and the wisdom contained in it, along the data, dates, and facts related to Nikola Tesla, in order to debunk whether this interview is real or not, and just as importantly, what the theory discussed actually suggests. This is an in-depth look at the figure of Nikola Tesla. I will offer my final verdict at the end of the video, but one thing is certain: even if the interview is fake, it contains an in-depth understanding of Tesla's core philosophy, and the wisdom contained in it is thought-provoking and aligned with what the current research, ranging from quantum physics to altered states of consciousness, is suggesting. Before I move forward, I would like to remind you that if you want to join the growing discussion on consciousness and would like to be notified on the latest scientific discoveries and theories surrounding this topic and how they connect to ancient mythologies and philosophies, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, as I'll try to upload at least one video per week as I continue with the outline. As a brief reminder or notice to people coming to my channel for the first time, this is part 5 of a series of videos where I've been going in-depth into this interview from Tesla. So I'm gonna link the playlist somewhere on the screen, and thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll like this one. Alright, so here Tesla starts talking about what his philosophy is. Not here what your philosophy is. Life is a rhythm, must be comprehended. I feel the rhythm and direct on it and pamper in it. He was very grateful and gave me the knowledge I have. Everything that lives is related to a deep and wonderful relationship, man and stars, amoebas and the sun, the heart, and the circulation of an infinite number of worlds. These ties are unbreakable, but they can be tamed and to propitiate and begin to create new and different relationships in the world, and that does not violate the old. Knowledge comes from space. Our vision is its most perfect set. We have two eyes, the earthly and the spiritual. It is recommended that it become one eye. Universe is alive in all its manifestations like a thinking animal. So now I find this really interesting. Number one, I said the two eyes, the earthly and the spiritual, in that video on Morphic Resonance by Rupert Sheldrake. The author of that article was talking about how science is missing a lot of what some other philosophies or some other areas of research, which especially right now the altered states of consciousness, can give us, and is lacking this more holistic and meaningful cosmology. Now, as I said, whoever wrote this, or Tesla, was right on it. The two eyes, the one the early and the spiritual, and he's saying everything, knowledge comes from space. Now, this is something strange for Tesla to say. However, there is this quote from Tesla which said, "My brain is only a receiver in the universe." He said, "My brain is only a receiver in the universe. There is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. I have not penetrated into the secrets of this core, but I know that it exists." Now, this is something that repeats in altered states of consciousness, this idea that people download information. And I talked about, this is one of the theories on consciousness, is that the brain is some sort of a filter, some sort of an antenna, and there's a larger consciousness, and all theories point towards it, including the occult theory. I don't remember exactly where I was talking about. I think it was in the Fenwick's theory of this quote-unquote cosmic consciousness. I'm gonna link it somewhere in the screen if I find it, the exact one, when I'm talking about this idea of the brain being some sort of a and antenna. I'm gonna link that video and all of the related videos that I am approaching today with, along with their published research, can be found below in the links. And another one is that research on psychedelics from the Imperial College London. It was Christopher Timmerman, I believe that's his name. He was doing that research on psychedelics when people are in the going through the breakthrough experience. When they say that they meet God, or they meet aliens, or they meet entities or angels or whatever they want to call them, and they are having this very euphoric, very strong experience. What happens in the brain is that the brain is acting on the delta brainwaves, which are the slowest brainwaves available, which means that there's no real brain activity going on. This happens also when we are deep in sleep. So how come people are having these really strong experiences while the brain is at its lowest activity? The only explanation is that whatever experience is happening is not really happening in the brain. I'm going to link both of these somewhere on the screen, and you can find them below. But yeah, this idea that the brain is only a receiver, some sort of antenna, there's some more research on it. I'm going to be going further into it. Going forward with his philosophy, the journalist says, as you say this, it seems to me like I hear Buddhist attacks, words, or Taoist parasolsusa. I don't know what this word is, maybe the way to call Wu, I'm not really sure. And Tesla says, that's right, this means that there is general knowledge and truth that man has always possessed. This is why I keep leaning towards looking at ancient philosophies and looking what they have to say and where do they correlate with newer research and the altitude of consciousness. In my feeling and experience, the universe has only one substance and one supreme energy with an infinite number of manifestations of life. The best thing is that the discovery of a secret nature reveals the other. Everything is interconnected. One cannot hide. They're around us, but we are blind and deaf to them. If we emotionally tie ourselves to them, they come to us themselves. There are a lot of apples, but one Newton, he asked for just one apple that fell in front of him. So what he's saying about here, and this is the core of what Tesla, he actually believed. We're not sure if this interview is real, but he believed in this energy, this free energy, this ether, as it is somewhere in that interview. And this is what their current research is showing. And all people who come from reports from multi-states of consciousness say this. They say that everything is one, everything is connected, and there's one supreme energy which manifests into life, and everything is interconnected. And as I said, the 2022 Nobel Prize in Physics proved that there's no locality in the universe. Everything seems to be connected because quantum entanglement is a real thing. There's no other way to explain it. It says linked somewhere on the screen, you can find it below. All of this is the merging of what they're saying. That's the knowledge and truth that man has always possessed, the spiritual eye, the earthly eye, and the spiritual. This is, as the author in that article from the Morphic Resonance series says, I'm going to link it if I haven't, or you can find it below. He says, the story of the 20th century is one of science catching up with what ancient philosophies have always told us. Alright, so for this video I have just a few post-editorial notes or comments that I want to make regarding this whole Tesla and Buddhism and the philosophy of Tesla thing. So number one, it says you have to think about the interview and the interviewer acknowledging that all of this sounds kind of, some people would say, whoa, it sounds like Buddhism. They asked Tesla, what are you talking about here? So there's the acknowledgement that this is kind of out of the ordinary. But what I like about this interview, and which makes me go into it further, is that when you have those tones of literary enhancement, but at the same time it is acknowledged that it's kind of woo, and then there is a rational explanation in this interview. Tesla says, in my experience, quote unquote, the universe has only one substance and one supreme energy with an infinite number of manifestations of life. And now, when you think about it, a lot of people would say, and a lot of modern scientists and even the pioneers in the 1900s, when they saw the connection between science and some Eastern philosophies, they're instantly cataloged as woo, as nonsense. This connection of these ancient philosophies with modern science, as I said, a lot of modern scientists in 2020, in 2023, 2022, even in 2010, they would say this is woo, this is nonsense. But now a lot of people would say Tesla would have never said this, which is why they call this interview fake. But if we, as I said, what I'm doing in these videos is corroborating the information. So was Tesla influenced by Buddhism or by Eastern philosophies or any of these nature? And now I'm not going to go a lot into it. I'm going to go into a couple of paragraphs because I come back to this topic with more, with articles and with some dates and some in-depth look into it. But just for right now, I'm going to link these articles somewhere in the description below of this video. So I'm just going to go into the first. Nikola Tesla used ancient Sanskrit terminology in his descriptions of natural phenomena. As early as 1891, Tesla described the universe as a kinetic system filled with energy which could be harnessed at any location. What does this sound like? Any location. The universe is not local. I already linked this Nobel Prize that was given in 2022 for the scientists who proved that the universe is not locally real. It's down below in the description. His concepts during the following years were greatly influenced by the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. Now, for these Eastern gurus or personalities, I don't usually go deep into them because I know that even in the culture of the Eastern culture, there's a lot of forgery, and there's a lot of people who look into these gurus with a lot of admiration, and a lot of them try to imitate them and come up with things that are not true. But whether what they do is true or not, or if they can pull miracles or not, they are based on the Eastern tradition, on the scriptures. So we're not talking about the gurus themselves, but we're talking about the philosophy, not the gurus. In any case, Tesla began using the Sanskrit words akasha, prana, and the concept of a luminiferous ether, which this ties, as I said, to more of a medieval idea of occultism. And I made a short somewhere around this, and some people reply, "Are you joking? Are you kidding me? How can you tie the idea of the ideas of this magnificent inventor Nikola Tesla to some idiocy like medieval occultism?" He actually thought about this. He actually used these terms because all occultism comes as a way to understand the nature of the universe. But in any case, he used all of these to describe the source, existence, and construction of matter. As I said, I'm not going to go into the whole thing because I have a few things that I wanted to discuss in a video that is coming in the future. But for the ones who are following me, the ones who are understanding what I'm saying, you want to go into it, go straight into it. I'm going to link it somewhere. So just going to end with this. The meeting with Swami Vivekananda greatly stimulated Nikola Tesla's interest in Eastern science. The Swami later remarked during a lecture in India, "I myself have been told by some of the best scientific minds of the day how wonderfully rational the conclusions of the Vedanta are. I know of one of them personally who scarcely has time to eat his meal or go out of his laboratory, but who would stand by the hour to attend my lectures on the Vedanta, for as he expresses it, they are so scientific, they so exactly harmonize with the aspirations of the age and with the conclusions to which modern science is coming at the present time." And this is in the 1900s. We're in 2023 as of making this video, and as I said, and I keep repeating this from this author, from that Rupert Sheldrake's article, he says the story of the 21st century science is one of modern science meeting with ancient philosophy. And now in the latter experiments are actually proving all the craziness of quantum physics, and I have a catalog of them in this channel. Just go through the playlist and go and research. That's what I'm doing here. And so it is very common for modern scientists and for modern academics and quote-unquote intellectuals to, as soon as any sort of ancient philosophies, whether Eastern or Christian or whatever, come to the table or are mentioned or are referenced, they instantly diminish and undermine anything having to do with it, because there's this dogmatism in modern science. However, we are looking into something right here. And now the last thing that I want to say as this post editorial note is think about theosophy. Theosophy, and the creators of theosophy went to India because they understood that there's something there, and even their ideas were going to be more accepted in India. Now, why theosophy? Why do I go back to occultism? Because this interview, if it's real, it comes from an occultist magazine. And this occultist magazine I'm going to go into in the future. So, as I said, you make your own mind. All the information is here. I'm going to link this article somewhere. I'm going to take it back when I go in depth into these ideas. But yeah, this is not woo, it's not nonsense. There is a foundation of Tesla tying to ancient Eastern tradition. And it seems that everything that we are looking at in modern science is that story of tying to these ancient traditions. If you're on the path of finding the truth about reality and our purpose as humans on Earth, the information that I have to share concerns you. After a lifetime of research in philosophies ranging from Buddhism to the occult, I've encountered themes and patterns along some baffling information that is beginning to be seriously studied by science. A Rational Divine Outline, The Ghost of Jesus, is the first iteration of this project, where I analyze the message of Jesus without dogmatism, fanaticism, or religious bias. You can find my work available on Amazon on the link below. If you find this work valuable, consider subscribing, sharing, and following me on social media, as it'll help others in the same path to find this information. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.